Welcome to this video covering the IBM DB2 SQL Performance Analyzer for ZOS, also known as SQLPA. The purpose of this video is to demonstrate the what-if analysis functionality. First question that I want to answer is, what is what-if analysis? And then secondly, why would you want to utilize the functionality? So to answer question number one, what is what-if analysis? This is the ability to create scenarios with a DB2 optimizer, where you can analyze indexes, change statistics, and modify SQL statements to influence access path selection. The second question, why would you want to create what-if scenarios? When you run an explain costing command against a package or query, you may encounter queries that exceed the set SQL performance parameters, which identifies a query as being cost prohibitive. The what-if scenarios allow you to drop a real index virtually, and then you can modify the SQL statements to simulate a different index configuration. These virtual changes allow you to influence the costing calculations without utilizing processor resources. This process does not remove the physical index from the DB2 catalog and allows the cost calculation to use the virtual changes instead. There are two different access points for what-if analysis. The first access point is from the SQLPA main panel. By selecting option 2, Advanced DB2 SQLPA Processing, and then by selecting option 3, Create or Drop an Index. The second access point is what I will be demonstrating, which is completed within a query limits report by entering the what-if line command for a specific query. From the SQLPA main control panel, I have selected option 1, Basic DB2 SQLPA Processing, and then option 1, Processing Packages from the DB2 System Catalog. The Query Limits Report displays the information for the 4 queries within the package. The items to note at this point is a column labeled C, E, I, Q, and then the dollar symbol. The column will contain a Y if any of the SQLPA system parameters have been exceeded. The Y below column Q identifies that the Q units value for a query number 59 has exceeded the system parameters of 200. Let's look at the explain report to determine if any information is provided for tuning the query. From the query limits report, I will enter the command E for explain on query number 59. In the explain report, I see the SQL at the top. I also see that there is a cluster non-matching index scan, which I am interpreting that there is no index on this table. So a perfect what-if scenario is to add an index. Secondly, the SQL contains an order by clause. If I add the key, then I will probably want to remove this clause. The changes can be completed in one scenario. However, I'll use 2 just for an example. I'll start the what-if scenario by entering a W on the command line. From the what-if modifications, I will change the Y to an N for modify SQL statement, only accepting the yes for create or drop index. This DB2 SQL ID for the index creator should be the same as the one displayed in the upper right corner, so the table owner of plan table and DSN virtual indexes must be the same to include a virtual index in the cost calculation of the explain SQL command. The action I'm going to select is 3, create virtual index. I need to enter the ID for the table creator and the table name that I want to apply the virtual index to. Pressing enter allows me to view the table information. I want a virtual index applied to the employee number field in ascending order. Additional index options can also be modified, such as unique and if the index is padded. I'm going to accept these defaults. In the upper right corner, you'll see the verification that the index was created. Pressing F3 brings me to the what-if query limits report. The query number is automatically incremented starting at the values of 100 million. I see that the virtual index caused the Q units value to drop into an acceptable range. I could stop the what-if scenario here, but I want to modify the SQL. So I'll enter the WIF command to create another scenario. I will change the create or drop index identifier to N and the modify SQL statement to Y. The comment at the top is the original SQL, and starting at row 6 is a statement for modification. I'm just going to delete the order by clause. I'll accept the changes, and the What If Query Limits report will display again. This time, I see that all the costing information has decreased. As a result of my scenarios, I probably want to add an index to the table and then modify the SQL. The last step in this example is to drop the virtual index that I created, since I do not want to continue using it for other analysis. So I'll navigate back to the main SQLPA panel, select option 2, and then option 3 to create or drop an index. The action that I want to select is 5, remove virtual change. After pressing enter, confirmation of the index removal is displayed in the upper right corner. Thank you very much for watching.